My name is Natalie Tomanchek, and this is our reflection number 5 over week 11's materials. So, a little introduction to our presentation. In our presentation, we are going to explore what urban planners do, how they become urban planners, and why this field matters today. We are also going to look at the key roles of planners and some current trends. Some of the key roles that we are going to look into is how they develop land use and zoning plans, coordinate public projects and policies, and how they analyze data to make informed decision making. And the reason this all matters is because effective urban planning really improves mobility, housing, and the overall livability of cities. So, the Plantizen website overview. So, it is an online platform that is used by urban planners, students, and honestly, anyone who's just interested in city planning. The main objective of this website is to provide up-to-date news and analysis over urban planning topics. It is also used to provide educational resources, courses, and exam prep for urban planners. Um, the audience that this website targets is urban planning professionals, educators, students studying urban planning, and policymakers. And the type of content on this website that we found um, includes news, blogs, and articles on planning policy, development, design, and sustainability.
Howdy, y'all. My name is Jonathan Trevino, and I chose to do reading number one, What is Planning, in addition to an external source. So, to begin, what is planning begins by defining the role of planning in our communities and how it's an important tool for community leaders to manage community growth, tackle change, and address large-scale decisions, aka where to construct housing, public transit, parks, etc. Ultimately, it's more than just short-term solutions. It's about also building long-term, it's about also building long-lasting communities. After that, the article delves into how the planning process works. It largely relies on data expertise and community input, which is accomplished through planners researching, talking with the local residents, and analyzing data sets to determine community needs. The outcome of this process is a well-crafted plan, which acts like a roadmap for planners as it guides leaders on excellent decision making. Now, after that, the article then describes why there's three reasons as to how planners are vital to communities. The first one is that planners look towards the future for their respective communities, and they think about how present decisions can impact the future. Secondly, planners are educated and trained well in their profession, and they often bring the best practices to the table. They're also very helpful with assisting elected officials with complex, long-term planning. Finally, planners are also data-driven, meaning their suggestions aren't just mere assumptions, but are actually inferences that are based upon research, community engagement, and detailed data analysis. Now, the external source I chose to do was What is Urban Planning? This article initially defines what urban planning is, and it goes into great detail about what the purpose of urban planning is. Next, it discusses the main challenges that urban planners face, with some notable issues being pollution, traffic congestion, and underutilized urban land. Then it goes into discussion about how urban planning requires numerous different professions working in conjunction in order to function effectively. These positions range from sociologists and historians to economists, geographers, and more. Finally, the article concludes with the idea that urban planning today is more than about just retro. It concludes with the idea that urban planning today is more about retrofitting and improving our already existing infrastructure to be more sustainable, resilient, have better quality of life, as opposed to just building new urban areas. Thank you.
Howdy, my name is Victoria Nell. I will be discussing Becoming an Urban Planner by Michael Bayer, Nancy Frank, and Jason Valerius. And The Outside Source, a 5-minute history of American planning, a YouTube video. Urban planning is the professional practice of designing and managing the growth, organization, and sustainability of cities that balances social, environmental, and economic needs to create a livable and equitable communities. Key, key milestones include the 1893 Chicago World's Fair, which inspires the city City Beautiful movement. The rise of zoning laws beginning with the New York City um, in 1916 and the expansion of policy planning to addressing housing and labor and environmental issues. Over time, planning evolved from elite design-driven work to a participatory and ethical profession focused on community engagement and social justice and sustainability. Today, planners work across government, private, and nonprofit sectors, integrating land use, transportation, housing, and climate goals to shape the future of cities. Planning emerged in the late 19th century. Later, the concept of large city planning was introduced and influenced the Chicago World's Fair, which started in 1893, and the City Beautiful movement. Zoning was introduced in 1916 in New York City, which created legal foundations for urban form, which also evolved to address social inequality, housing, and policy reform. In the early 20th century, planners turned their attention to labor issues and policy planning that expanded in the post-World War II era. A modern focus is in collaboration, sustainability, and equitable city development. The future of the profession of urban planning depends on the adaptability, collaboration, and in the community trust. A 5-minute history of American planning and what every planner should know. Urban planning is in the U.S. has evolved from solving industrial era health and safety crises to shaping sustainable and equitable communities. Purpose: balance social, economic, and environmental needs to create livable and functional places. Legal foundation: zoning and mastering planning define how cities grow and function. Evolution: shift from expert knowings how community driven and participatory planning. Equity focus: addressing displacement, housing inequality, and public accesses to resources. Modern role: combining data, design, policy, and sustainability. Core message: planning reflects society's values, and how we design cities determines how we live together. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Rylan Weatherford, and for one of our outside sources, I chose What is Urban and Regional Planning. The website explains that urban and regional planning focuses on balancing economic growth, environmental protection, and social equity. It highlights how planners address modern challenges such as climate change, traffic congestion, housing shortages, and urban sprawl. It emphasizes the role of planners in shaping long-term community goals through comprehensive plans. It shows how planning connects multiple fields, including geography, economics, public policy, design, and sustainability. It describes how planners work directly with citizens, local governments, and private organizations to create communities that are safe, efficient, and adaptable to future needs. Conclusion: we've explored what urban planners do, how they enter the field, and why their work is important today. Their responsibilities from creating land use and zoning plans to coordinating public projects and using data to guide decisions shape how cities grow and operate. These roles matter because strong urban planning leads to better mobility, more effective housing options, and improved overall livability. As cities continue to change, the work of planners remains essential to building communities that are sustainable, efficient, and built for the future. Thank you.